Scripture tells us time and time again to approach God himself. Like we come with this thanksgiving and praise, and there's something that gratitude creates in us. I think it doesn't just create it in us, but it begins to shape the world around us, in that it does change your perspective. Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of the Faith Family Leadership Podcast. As always, we're honored to be with you. And before we jump into today's episode, I just want to give a shout out and a thank you to all of our listeners for liking, subscribing, leaving comments.
Yeah, love that.
Nothing we love more than hearing from you guys. And I'm excited about today's episode.
Yeah.
Once again, we got PJ on the pod.
Hello,
Josh.
Hello, everybody.
Doing good, my man?
Doing really well.
Hey, listen, today's episode is episode 10. We're in the double digits.
Come on.
Making moves.
Let's go.
It's been a good run.
Yeah,
It's been a good run. And today's episode is a holiday edition. Thanksgiving.
I like that.
Thanksgiving. And we're going to be talking about this thought of gratitude.
Okay.
The attitude of gratitude. Grateful leaders are the best leaders.
No doubt.
Yet, I think we can all agree that there are times in our leadership journey where we'll feel anything but grateful.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that today. I believe that this is one of those episodes that will not only add a ton of value to us as leaders, but it'll encourage us a lot as well.
Yeah.
Before we do that, though, we're going to do a Thanksgiving edition, this versus that.
Thanksgiving, my favorite holiday.
Is it your favorite holiday?
No doubt. By far.
Gotta know why.
I think it's the food, the football, the family, the whole vibe. I mean, there's not this weird, I got to buy you a gift because you got me a gift thing going on. It's a little bit more the purity of it. I mean, I love Christmas. Don't get me. I mean, I love giving gifts. I love receiving gifts. I don't know. There's just something about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and Thanksgiving comes at like a better time of year, I want to say almost.
It's not as busy. And it's not as busy.
Not as busy.
Christmas is.
Yeah, by the time you get to Christmas Day, especially, with everything going on Christmas Eve and
14,000 Christmas services we
you're
do.
like, am I even alive right now?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely loving Thanksgiving.
Loving Thanksgiving. We got a few questions concerning Thanksgiving.
Fire away.
Okay, this versus that. Would you rather cook Thanksgiving meal all by yourself or clean up after Thanksgiving meal?
I'd rather cook.
Really?
Yeah, I'd rather cook. I do the turkey every year anyways.
Fried turkey?
No, I smoke it on the green egg.
Nice.
And I enjoy that. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy that. The cleaning up part, the worst.
Yeah.
Because you got 15,000 different, casserole dishes and things.
Crusty stuff on the side. You got chiseled away.
It's a lot to clean up. Let somebody else do that and put it in the, Tupperware.
Everybody's all laid up. Thanksgiving turkey coma.
No,
you're over there grinding.
No, I'm not trying to clean up.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a good one. Would you rather eat Thanksgiving leftovers for an entire month or never eat Thanksgiving food again?
In my whole life?
Ever. Till the Lord comes back or you go to him.
I don't think I could say goodbye to Thanksgiving food. I don't like eating Thanksgiving food beyond Thanksgiving Day.
Could you eat it day after? Are you a leftover guy?
Yeah, I could. I prefer not to.
You're a one and done kind of guy.
Yeah, turkey doesn't taste the same when you start throwing it in the old microwave.
No, some people make like turkey sandwiches. I feel like I'm
done. I'm done with it. It's because it's never as good as it is when you serve it
fresh out. It's been smelling up the house. Yeah. The vibes are there. I think I know how you're going to answer this one, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Would you rather take a nap after eating or watch a football game? Let me predicate it with this. You cannot watch the football game and fall asleep.
Yeah.
So you either choose a nap after you eat or football.
I'd rather watch football.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I mean, because, I never get into that nap zone too heavy.
You don't?
No, because I'm watching the game.
Kind of chill.
Maybe
a little doze off, but it's not like a cornerstone of your...
Yeah, I like to go for a walk after Thanksgiving.
Pro tip.
Yeah, just kind of get out and just walk, walk it off.
Sometimes the weather's nice too.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. All right, mashed potatoes or sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes. I don't even have to think about it.
No, that's fast. Would you rather have to eat your Thanksgiving dinner with only chopsticks or only oven mitts? So you almost got like a scooping scenario with the mitt.
I'm going with the sticks, man.
I think you have to.
No, I'm pretty good with them,
Yeah,
so,
are you?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. Yeah,
Just trash.
I'm good with it.
All right, turkey or ham?
Ooh, And that's a tough one.
That is a tough
I
one.
ask myself that question every year, just kind of like, would if turkey wasn't an option, would I be okay with ham? I'm probably, and I'm a traditionalist,
Okay.
so I go back and forth. But if I'm just kind of following the old palate, I'm going with the ham.
I agree with that.
Yeah, the ham's better.
Always better. Or
It's
now,
all-
are you a glazed ham guy, or do you just like your OG? No
Either-
glaze.
I have no preference.
Yeah.
I think we typically do a little glaze,
Yeah.
but I can't say for sure.
Okay.
I'd be fine. Let's go OG.
OG.
Yeah, I don't
shooter's
want it too
choice.
sweet. You know, I'm gonna have a little sweet afterwards.
Yeah. I'm weird about my food in that way. Like if it would be considered like a salty meal,
Yeah.
I can't have sweet stuff on it.
Okay.
It kind of weirds me out. Like
Yeah.
like Elizabeth loves to dump cranberry sauce on her stuffing.
Yeah, I do that too.
Do you?
Yeah, but I call it dressing.
Dressing.
Yeah, because it's more like a cornbread dressing.
Yeah. That's
It-
kind of what we do.
yeah,
Maybe I'm kind of
Stuffing's a little bit more like
in the turkey.
like bread.
I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
I see.
I mean, it's good too, but
yeah.
you know, this part of the world we're more dressing people.
I need to get my life together.
Yeah, you need to.
Speaking of
that out.
more of bread, would you go cornbread or dinner rolls?
I'm a cornbread guy. I like a good piece of cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, butter.
Yeah,
All the
yeah,
fixings.
it's got to be good though. It can't be
Yeah,
too
you-
dry. It's like like
little
eating
crispy
sand or
critter on-
something. Yeah, no. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah,
Got to be right.
I feel that. You going fancy tableware, or would you rather just paper plate that?
You know,
joker?
I like it a little bit nicer. I like it. So if we're going to do paper plates, I want the nicer stuff.
I see.
Yeah, don't
like
be.
the Chenet or whatever those things.
Yeah,
are
don't be
called.
throwing no styrofoam.
Yeah,
no
no
styrofoam.
Dixie with the little
bro.
imprints.
I don't want my plastic fork breaking.
Yeah,
You know, if I'm really going at it, I mean that just
that
wastes
plastic's
time
under duress with that
and
turkey,
wastes
baby.
time. It could be a choking hazard.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not right.
I'm not trying to get into that world.
Do you like to dress up a little bit for Thanksgiving? You're not rocking the
No.
the
I'm gonna put on a nice shirt. I'm gonna put on some jeans, probably my boots.
I respect.
I
this
kind of
about you.
respect. I kind of get my Tacovas out. You know.
I'm wearing Dakotas right now.
Yeah, well, they're nice. I mean, I'm more of a sneaker guy most of the time, but
The Texan in you,
Thanksgiving is like, man, this is Thanksgiving Day. I got a lot to be thankful for.
including these boots.
Including these boots. Let's come in here and act like we know what we're doing.
That's right.
You know?
Especially as the father, husband in
Yeah.
the house, you gotta like take.
Yeah,
A
I
step
want the
into
kids
that.
dressed right.
Yeah.
I want everybody
Wide up
like
vibes.
don't
Yeah.
show up.
looking
don't-
like a scrub.
Don't show up in like some windsuit, tracksuit from Academy.
No, we don't want that.
No.
No,
I mean, not even a. I just don't.
No,
It's like, hey man, let's do it right.
be intentional.
Let's have a little class in this
Mhm.
family. You know,
Mhm.
let's be
Yeah.
on time. Let's eat on time. If we're gonna say we want to eat at noon or 1:00, that's when I want to eat.
So you're not ghosting people like my relatives used to do. They say, "Hey, we're eating lunch, Thanksgiving lunch," but they don't be serving that joker till 3 p.m.
No, man, no, because that people start getting their blood sugar levels start getting low. They start getting cranky.
Hangry.
People start saying things. You know, you
Yeah.
got all these people. You got family. You know, you're trying to keep everybody right and
Yeah.
the right vibe.
And sometimes everyone's on a hair trigger anyway. It's like you got that one crazy uncle. It's like I don't want to say the wrong thing to him.
or they're cooking. They're a little stressed. The yams didn't turn out just right.
They're too candied.
Yeah, like you're trying to keep everybody happy. You're trying
Best
to
thing you can do
connect
is get some food in
we
their system.
because we like to have people over to our house for Thanksgiving. So I'm like hosting this, because I like that because I feel like I have a little bit more.
Skin in the game.
Yeah, it's like I can help create a better environment. You don't want to go to someone's house and they got clutter everywhere and they start.
There's like cats running around on top of
No,
the
bro,
food.
I don't do cats anyways. I don't eat in houses that have cats.
Potlucks make me unsettled.
I've seen cats on kitchen counters.
That's what I'm. That's
I got
exactly what I'm
a thing
referencing.
about cats. We've talked about that before.
I know it surfaced
It's
2
not right.
episodes ago.
It's not right. And I know there's people out there like, oh, they love their cats. Yeah, okay. I mean, you love your cat. I don't love your cat.
Not enough to be traipsing around in my
No,
food.
I don't even like your cat. I don't even know your cat, but I've already come to that conclusion that we don't like each other.
No.
They're just not right, man.
Nah. Last question. Would you rather go Black Friday shopping or just stay at home and hit the Amazon Prime?
Oh
deals?
no, man! I'm not getting in the middle of all that stuff.
You don't
no,
want to throw bows?
No. I want to stay right there at home. Carol go out and do a little bit of that back when the kids are younger. 'Cause she's trying to get a deal. We on a pretty tight budget.
Some of that stuff though is all online now.
And then I heard this guy at Best Buy. He gave me the inside scoop. He worked there.
Mhm.
He might have been the Geek Squad.
Yeah, hot take.
And he's like, hey, listen, I just want to let you know these TVs, they ain't the same TVs. Like you think you're getting a deal, but they're putting the cheapest guts on the inside of these TVs that they can.
Really?
And they never last as long, picture quality. So I know people go Black Friday shopping because they're trying to get that big item, but they're just getting a big piece of junk, you know, and then they're fighting with people. You know, I just can't imagine fighting somebody over a television set or a little comfy blanket.
No.
You know, I mean, it's like, what in the world?
True story. Worked at Target. It was my first job.
You know,
I always worked the early shift on Black Friday. One time, I was back there with the digital cameras. I had a dude hit me in my shoulder with his walking cane because I gave the last digital camera to the next person in line. He was one behind him. Not happy.
That's insane. But I want to know, what did you do back? Did you do anything back?
I kind of wanted to flex up on him.
Did you drop kick that dude on that cane when he's walking away from you?
I didn't drop kick him.
Did you think about it?
Oh, guaranteed I thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what? If you need a cane, all I got to do is sweep that leg. Game over for you.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Bro, you're on a cane. You ought to be chill.
No.
Because you ain't working with much.
No, you need to respect me a little bit.
Yeah, you're not working with much, you know? So don't be slinging that.
He's trying to post up on me.
Don't be acting like you got some kind of weapon in your hand.
No, that's a walking cane to help you get around, dog.
That's right. That's right. You better chill. But you showed him grace.
I did.
I like that.
I know.
I
had a good youth pastor. He was working me through some things.
Yeah. I know that guy.
Well, we could talk a lot about Thanksgiving. It was fun. Enjoyed that segment. But I want to pop into some gratitude. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Specifically, this attitude of gratitude. Now, at the time of this recording, we're obviously approaching Thanksgiving, the holiday season. And I feel like whenever we approach the holidays, we generally have this greater sense of gratefulness. We're with family. Thanksgiving, I know in my house, we always kind of go around the table and share what we're most thankful for.
Yeah.
And while I love that this time of year, it does become a greater area of focus, I'm actually challenged right now in my own personal life to take it far beyond the fall. Recently, you were sharing at an ARC event for some pastors, and I was privileged enough to be there. It was a great teaching, but there was a moment within the teaching where you were just encouraging the leaders in that room to be grateful, to just press pause and think about where God has brought each and every one of us.
Yeah.
That many of us are living right now in dreams that we had months, even years ago. As you were sharing this, the energy in the room went through the roof.
Yeah. People
that were looking down are automatically looking up. They're smiling.
Yeah.
There was just this sense of energy. And I started thinking about how easy it is for me to forget about some of that stuff. And I don't think it's just me. I think it's all of us. Yeah. And I think if we're not careful, especially as leaders, when we think about home, work, the local church, we can get really caught up in whatever we perceive as our to-do list. And before we know it, we'll find ourselves stressed, discouraged, living life out of rhythm.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about today is what I believe is part of the antidote for that. And that's a spirit and an attitude of gratefulness. And I think it shifts our perspective. So I know we're going to get practical like we always do.
Yeah.
But before that, I'd like for you to begin to unpack this thought of gratitude and how, when we approach it, it can truly begin to shape our perspective. And then after that, maybe we'll talk about some ways that we can apply those practices of gratitude to our life.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the great leaders are grateful. And it's a value or a practice, I should say, that I believe I live with at a pretty high level, because I hear people say things like, well, you deserve this, or I deserve this when something good happens to them. I kind of live with the mentality that I don't really deserve much of anything. I mean, if you want to just be a realist at the most real level, I deserve death. I deserve, really nothing, because that's what sin does. That's what we're born into. But when you recognize that everything good in your life is a gift from God, it makes you appreciate it so much more. And, Scripture tells us time and time again to approach God himself. Like, we come with this thanksgiving and praise. And there's something that gratitude creates in us, I think it doesn't just create it in us, but it begins to shape the world around us, in that it does change your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You always find what you're looking for, and if you're looking at the good and you're grateful for the good, that starts to create an environment around you where you start being more positive.
Yeah.
You're definitely more joyful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a tricky thing, because I think it is, as you mentioned, human nature to focus on what's not right.
Yep.
Or what someone's not giving you. I don't focus on that, because I'll be real honest, there's a long list of things that aren't exactly the way I want them. I think we all could say, if we're honest, I think we'd all come to that same conclusion.
No doubt.
However, there's so much good.
Yeah.
There's so much good. And sometimes that just kind of gets taken for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And I never want to take the goodness of God, the things that he's blessed me with personally, for granted.
Yeah.
I never want to forget where I came from.
Yeah.
On the way into our church building, the entrance that I use, we have some pictures, and it's back at the first interest social we had. Then there's a picture of Kara and I there together. We're just, seems like two kids at that time. And then we're wearing our Faith Family Church, first shirt that t-shirt we had designed. And we had nothing really but a dream in our heart, and some great people around us. And I look at that picture every time I come in the building, our first trailers, and I think, I owe so many people for where I'm at and where the church is at. Obviously, I'm grateful, but none of this is about me. It's none of what God's entrusted to me is because of me. It's because of God. So it helps me to just keep the right perspective, because success is sneaky. It's success. And I only say that is that the church has made it. The church has grown. When we're starting off, you're like, we don't know.
Right.
We don't know. There's no guarantee of any of this working.
Right.
We're setting up every week in high school, and today we have so much to be grateful for. But that success is sneaky. And if you feel like, because it'll start convincing you that, hey, look what you've done.
Yeah.
Look what you've done.
Yeah.
The truth is I've had my part to play, and I've done my best to be faithful to that. But at the end of the day, none of this is here because of me. It's because of God's faithfulness. It's because of people's willingness and faithfulness to serve. No one has to do anything.
That's right.
When I look at my family, Kara did not have to marry me. I mean, I'm grateful. She's been a wonderful mom and wife. I got two amazing sons. And it's just, that I'll never let that entitlement sit on me. Never. I'm never going to let that happen, because I don't deserve any of it. And you can be entitled, you can be egotistical when you feel like your success is because of you. So I think great leaders understand the power of gratitude in their own personal life, their health, and then when we're expressing appreciation, it appreciates everything. Everything raises in value.
Yep.
And you begin to energize people when you're grateful. It energizes teams. It just changes the entire dynamic, and it gets us thinking right. I know I may be getting ahead of myself here, but I do this nearly every day. Just go through my mind thinking, like, God, what the things that I'm grateful for. I start thinking about all I have to be grateful for. I came across a guy named John Gordon. He's a great author and speaker. He talks about a gratitude walk. And so when I walk, I try to get in my steps every day. I try to think through, what are the things I'm grateful for? And I don't just say, well, I'm thankful for God. I don't just give like the same things. I try to think of different things every day of things that I'm grateful for, expressing those in my own mind. And I do this, it's become a habit, because when you realize all that you have to be grateful for, it's hard to be stressed when you know you're blessed. It's hard to be stressed when you know you're blessed. That's what John Gordon, and that was a catchy little sticky phrase that he said that really helped me stay focused on the good. Stay focused on the good. So
No, I loved a lot of what you said there, and I know we're going to talk about the gratitude walk because you've mentioned that to me, and even some of our team, and it's a discipline that I began to input. I actually do it now when I'm driving into work every day.
Yeah.
Music's off, nothing on the stereo. But I would say you are very intentional, and you in this way. Was there a point in your own leadership journey? I mean, you mentioned not being influenced too much by success. Was there a place in maybe your leadership journey or your own personal life where you decided I need to start taking this practice a little bit more serious? Or has it always been something that you've thought of?
No. It was something that actually some pain was involved. Then I think I had gotten into a point, especially maybe in my late 20s, early 30s, where my talent, my gifts, I began to maybe take too much credit for what God had done and in my life and through my life. And I'd kind of made subconsciously, and really, you never consciously do this, but I was kind of starting to feel like it was about me, and I had a conversation with an older gentleman that kind of exposed some things in my life that I hadn't seen, but thankful that he was willing to share those things with me. Sometimes, they call them blind spots because you can't see them. And sometimes we have those. And it really helped me kind of get things in perspective. And I would even say that when we were at the place of starting the church, when you lead in a nonprofit organization, which is what we have, and this is true with your business too.
Sure.
And there may be some business leaders out there, but when you lead in the church, you realize very quickly that no one is doing anything for financial gain.
Yeah,
they're there to serve, and they're there because they want to be there.
Yeah.
And if they weren't there, you'd be in a huge bind.
Yeah, you would.
You'd be in a huge bind. So when we started having interest socials, I remember the first time, 27 people showed up in a living room. I was just so grateful. Like, man, these people could be at home. It was raining. It was Sunday afternoon. They could have, kind of stayed in that nap mode.
Yep.
But here they are, sitting in this living room, listening to me.
Going to work the next day.
And they just kept showing up, kept coming back, and they'd bring some friends. And it just caused me to, I was just so grateful that people are showing up. And that's never changed. And
it's awesome, man.
When we launched the church, I would just remember the first Sunday I was walking around, not getting so focused on the environmental things being just right. I just was going around expressing appreciation to the people that were there, that were setting up, that had, they just poured themselves into it like it was theirs, and it is theirs.
Yes,
it is. The church belongs to God and the people. So it's
that's special, man.
Yeah, no, it definitely is, and you just see the hand of God in all of it, and obviously it all goes back. Your gratitude goes back to Him, but it's just been so helpful to me, and really a joy to me to express the gratitude to the people, the boots on the ground.
That's right.
That have skin in the game, that are serving and doing everything that just has to be done.
Yeah.
So.
I love that you shared that. Thank you for sharing that. I know how you're wired. I know how I'm wired. Guys like us probably walk into a room and could see, if we wanted to, all the different things that may need to be adjusted or done.
I don't know, and I see those things.
But the mindset and the discipline that you have as a leader to come in and saying, no, the number one thing that I can do right now
That's right.
is be chief appreciator.
Yep.
And that mindset, would you say that mindset starts before you even get there? Like, you're not waiting to be led by emotion on that. You're going.
No. Yeah, you have to, because I've been around leaders that lose that perspective, and then the whole room just falls. There's a quote that I came across in preparation for this podcast. It's Henry Ward Beecher. It says, "A proud man is seldom a grateful man, and he never thinks he gets what he deserves." I'm just not going to live my life in the perpetual state of unhappiness, and it's just, why would I do that? There are so many things to be thankful for, and when I even show up on a Sunday, I'm thinking about the people that are already there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even the first person in the building. I don't even feel the pressure to be, because, I got my part to play. Everybody else is in their role. But when I get in here, man, it's time to high five and hug and say thank you.
Yeah.
As much as I say it, I go home and realize I ain't said it enough. Just when you think you're appreciating people at the level you need to, you realize that, no, I need to do it more.
Yeah.
So I always feel like just need to appreciate more. And I say that, to the church. I want to thank you for, your generosity. I want to thank you for serving. You guys are amazing. We couldn't do this without you. And I express that because it is sincere.
No, totally.
It is sincere, but it's also very sobering for me as a leader to realize these people don't even have to come back next week.
Yeah.
And then who's going to do everything? I mean, there's absolutely no way.
Yeah.
So
reminds me of a Craig Rochelle quote. I'm probably going to mess it up, but he says, appreciate as much as you can and then double it.
Yep. Yeah. And this has to transcend and this has to find its way into every part of our lives.
Yeah.
When in our homes, I mean, I express gratitude to Kara. I mean, I tell her quite a bit because she is such a servant-minded person. I mean, I'll thank her for doing my laundry. I mean, she washes my dirty clothes and folds them.
Yeah.
I don't do enough around the house. I mean, I'm busy writing sermons and praying, obviously.
Standing in the gap.
Yeah. But interceding for her and the family and the church family. But no, I just say thank you. When she cooks a dinner for me, thank you. I mean, it's like, thank you, because I mean, I could be married to a person that doesn't care about those things.
Yeah.
We got, she cares about those things. And I'm not throwing, I know some people are maybe more motivated to do those things than others. I'm not.
But you're looking for opportunities to affirm and appreciate.
Yeah, because it just changes the dynamic of the home. When my boys do something, they take out the trash. Yeah, I'm not going to, some people say, well, that's what they're supposed to do. Well, yeah, it is, but I want to thank them for it.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for calling your mom and dad, or mom and I, letting us know that you were going to be a few minutes late. Or thank you for letting us know where you're going. We don't even ask for that, but you're letting us know. It's, it's just something that I think changes the entire dynamic, because I think your life goes in the direction of your thoughts. So as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So I'm constantly thinking positive thoughts.
Yeah.
I just refuse to get over here in the world of nothing's right. Now, I mean, and I'm not, again, I know there are real issues that people have chemically in their brains. There's things that go on that cause people to maybe go into that world of depression. I just don't think you can be depressed and grateful at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts changing. And again, I'm not throwing shots at anybody, because that's a real issue that people need help with. And I pray for people and support them in their journey of finding health. But I'm not going to ruminate. That's the word that the psychologists would use, ruminate on negative things, because it just grows.
Yeah.
It just grows. It grows. So I'm going to thank God, as the scripture said, magnify the Lord with me. Let's exalt his name. So I'm just going to, I'm going to think about the goodness of God. I mean, you read the Psalms, you start seeing David expressing gratitude to God. It's what healthy people do, because we live in a really negative world.
Totally.
And
it comes from everywhere.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely get excited about Thanksgiving, but I don't want to be
just thankful then.
No.
Well, I love that I love
12 months a year, man. This is every day.
I loved what you said, man, at the beginning of this thing. You said whatever you appreciate obviously grows in value.
Yeah.
So whatever you appreciates, vice versa.
Yeah.
I thank you for sharing all of that perspective, man. I know it's even encouraging me right now. I kind of do want to shift a little bit. You've already shared some of the practical things that you do, through the perspective that you have, and even gratitude walks. For those that are listening right now, maybe they're like, okay, well, I want to walk in this.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start, what to do, how to approach it.
Yeah.
How do you approach this practically? What are some of the steps that you take, or the disciplines that you have that fosters this attitude of gratitude?
Well, you have to create space for it.
Okay.
You have to create space, because if you're constantly like, hurry doesn't know how to appreciate.
Oh,
hurry doesn't know how to love.
It's good.
Hurry doesn't know how to value the environment. If you're always hurried
or you're striving
Mm.
to be something
Mm.
and not grateful for what you're,
Yeah.
who you are now, what God has done in you now,
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult. So I make space for it. I've learned to slow my life down.
Okay.
People tell me, and I don't take it the wrong way, but they say, Pastor, I know you're busy. And no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not busy. I do not ever want to be known as a busy person.
Yeah.
I want to be known as a productive person. I want to be known as a caring person, an intentional person, maybe even a successful person in the eyes of God, obviously the most. But I'm not busy, because busyness destroys intimacy.
Oof.
You can't have a busy heart or a hurried heart and have a great relationship with God or anybody else.
So good.
So I create space every morning.
Okay.
I just kind of sit in it.
Mm.
And I know that seems, sometimes when you think about your prayer time, you're like, I need to be, praying through the names of God and, binding and loosing. And I do all those things. That's part of it, but it's not in that moment.
Sure.
I'm just kind of like drinking a cup of coffee, which I like. Obviously, I've knocked this one down already, and you're not even halfway through yours. But
I'll catch up.
I just drink the coffee and I'll just sit in it and just.
You sitting outside?
Yeah, a lot of times. If the mosquitoes aren't trying to carry me away.
Yeah.
But I'll just sit. I got a chair in my office at home that I just will sit and just soak in. Just God, you've been so good to me.
Mm.
I mean, I'm grateful for everything that I have. I got wonderful parents, but I think a lot of times, man, I've come a long way.
Yeah.
God's brought me a long way. I've had to overcome some things.
Yeah.
We all have, but I just thank God for the people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God for the blessing. I thank God for, even down to, hey, God, thanks for letting me live in this house. Thank you for giving me this moment, this sunrise. I mean, I know it sounds a little cheesy, but it's those kind of things. You just don't notice it when you're too hurried.
That's right.
So I would just encourage people to carve out. I mean, it could be 5 to 10, 15 minutes.
Yep.
And if you're not necessary, if you feel like you need, writing can help get some of that out.
Like journaling.
Journaling.
Yeah.
Just coming up maybe with a challenge, a gratitude challenge where you say, hey, I'm going to thank God every day this week. Maybe it's just Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write 5 things down every day.
And they can't be the same.
And they can't be the same.
Yeah. You've shared that with me
before.
before.
Be creative about it, just thanking God, for all that he's done. And it just doesn't happen unless you make space for it.
No, I love that, man. When you started talking to us as a staff about this, and I started to implement some of these in my own life, especially that part where you can't, with the gratitude challenge, you can't thank them for the same thing.
Yeah.
It started really shaping my perspective, because at first when you start this out, you kind of hit the big buckets. Lord, thank you for my wife.
Yeah.
Thank you for my kids. This.
Yeah.
And then the specialness of this really comes in the nuance, where you start to get behind the big maybe rocks and you're starting to look for the little things. Yeah. It's like, if you're looking for it, you can find something to be grateful in literally everything.
Yeah. And in everyone.
Everyone, yes.
It's I've done better at this because I had to be intentional about it. There was I think God's done a lot in me over the last year. I saw some things in my leadership where I was just being a bit too goal oriented. And I don't know if that's common in everyone or not, but I was kind of I'm a work, I like to work, put my head down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get lost in my office, whether it's leadership, it's a study, it's a sermon.
Right.
And I just started taking time every day, set a reminder, get out of your office and go appreciate people and say what you see.
I love that.
Say what you see. If you see something in someone that needs to be appreciated, say it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it was an insecurity in me, in my leadership, that I've maybe somehow believed that my words wouldn't be well received. But I've been I've found a lot of joy in affirming and appreciating the team around me. Obviously, the people in my home. Complimenting
appreciating. It's not shallow. I don't just give shallow encouragement. I don't believe in that, because that's manipulation.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not going to do that with people. If people are going to serve here, I want them to want to be here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give them some shallow encouragement just so they'll stick around.
Yeah.
I want to find something specific that I see
Yeah.
and just say, hey, you're great at this. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You know, thank you for the way you did this or that. You know, I mean, I got great people. We got great people all over this team.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't hard to do.
Yeah.
It's just something that if you're intentional about it
And you slow down.
and you find a rhythm for it,
It's good.
then I know when I step into a room,
Mm-hmm.
I can be intimidating. So that's something I've been working to disarm.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people intimidated by me, because I'm not trying to intimidate.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I'm not coming in heavy-handed, but my person, my face, you know, the way I look, you know, I
Mhm.
mean, people are just like, man, you know, pastor's here, you know,
Mhm.
and I don't want to be that way. You know, I want people to be at ease.
Yeah.
I want them to feel like, man, pastor loves me,
Yeah.
you know, and
Because you do.
I do. And he appreciates me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was reading something. I think the CEO of Campbell's Soup, I don't know even where I came across this, but I think he wrote 30,000 thank you notes to his employees
Wow.
over a period of time. And, you know, I'm sure he had a sore hand after a while, but he said it took the atmosphere of the team to another
Mhm.
level. Everyone wants to be appreciated.
Yeah, man. Everybody loves an attaboy.
No one likes to feel like they're taken for granted.
Yep.
You know, so why not? I mean, when you can just take a few moments
Mm-hmm.
and be intentional about it,
Mm-hmm.
you make everybody feel like, hey, man, people would rather be appreciated than compensated.
I agree with that.
Especially if they're in your business or they serve on the church staff. People will serve at the dream team level. If there's any pastors listening, like if you just start appreciating the leaders of your church,
Yeah.
they feel like, hey, what I'm doing is it is
Yeah.
making a difference. I mean, I know they're doing it for God.
Sure.
I know they're not doing it for me.
Right.
But it doesn't hurt
Not at all.
when I come in and say thank you.
Yeah.
Just thank you. You don't have to do this, but thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
And it just changes the whole dynamic. It really does. And I think that, you know, even as we're sitting here talking about it, maybe there's some people that if they want their home, their business, their team that they lead in the church, if you're ready to see, if you've been kind of caught up in thinking about what's not right, change your life by change your perspective by just being intentional about gratitude.
Love it.
Changes everything.
Love it. Yeah, I love the specificity of it all, because we talked about creating space. And then once you create space, and this is something that I have seen you do, where you have grown in the specificity of what you're affirming, appreciating. And I think at times, all of us, maybe through insecurity or whatever, we may think, well, what does it really matter if I say that?
Yeah.
Well, when God places us in leadership, because I believe that God does it, then automatically the weight of our words are concentrated. And something that I think of often is, I don't think we live in an appreciation culture.
No.
In general.
We live in an entitlement culture. Everyone feels entitled.
And my words of appreciation may be the only appreciation that individual is hearing.
Yeah.
And if I can take a couple of minutes and add that type of value to somebody with the long list of things that I need to do or I think I need to do, that's probably way higher on the list in God's eyes than whatever is on my list.
Yeah. Well, you look at the Apostle Paul when he was writing this in his epistles, he started every one of them.
Yeah.
I thank God. I thank you. Philippians 1:3, he said, I thank God every time I remember you. He's talking to Christians. He's talking to the people in the church. He's, I just thank God every time I think of you, you know, and I just want to see people like that. I mean, I just want to see my life like that. I just, you know, it's, again, I don't deserve any of it, but I sure am grateful for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, I love that, man. Intentional, create space, be as specific as you can. Think about doing it as much as you can, and then do it more. Would there be anything that you would add to any of that somebody could start walking in within gratefulness right now? You did speak about a gratefulness walk, which is probably similar to when you sit and start your morning. It's just you're moving now to get those steps in.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll kind of journal at the end of the day, you know, maybe a highlight, God, thanks for this. Or, another thing I try to do on a regular basis is to write thank you notes.
Yeah, it's good.
It's just a simple, I think it's better than a text.
Oh, totally.
But I will do the text.
Yeah.
Just making time to get that out. Like I feel like I need to, I don't have necessarily a quota to meet every day.
Sure.
But I don't want to go through a day without expressing gratitude.
I love that.
To somebody.
I love that.
And not just to God. I mean, thank God. Yeah, sure. Everything good and perfect comes down from Him, but slow down and thank a person.
Yeah.
Thank the lady, that's, I was thinking about, I can't remember where I was, but someone was going above and beyond. You could just tell they just had and I just say, hey, I want you to know I noticed that. I want you to know I appreciate that. Like what you're doing right now, the customer service, the attention to detail. We were at a restaurant not too long ago, and a guy just was, I just felt like he was a fantastic server. Hey, thanks for taking good care of us tonight. Yeah, you made our night special. I mean, they're dealing with people that, I used to wait tables.
Yeah.
People aren't nice.
No.
People aren't grateful. And that's why if you're not grateful, you're just never going to have much.
No.
You're just never going to enjoy what you have.
Yeah.
And
you're going to spend your whole life wishing for something else when you were living.
Yeah. And so he might have been, dumped on the whole night.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw some encouragement in there and remind him that, hey, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
It's not going unnoticed. So
yeah.
It's
great. That's great. Well, before we kind of close and sign off, I want to take just a moment and appreciate our leaders.
Yes.
The way that they love, serve, pray, give. I mean, you mentioned it so many times. We talk about it as a team all the time. Nothing around here happens without our dream team.
Yeah.
Happens without our leaders. We love you guys.
Absolutely.
Love them. So grateful for them.
Yeah, again, as much as we want to say thank you and be grateful, it's just never enough.
Yeah.
It never is. I don't have the vocabulary to express all the gratitude.
No.
At the level that I want to express it.
No. Nope. And it's a joy and an honor to run with them.
Absolutely.
Awesome. No. Awesome. Thank you, man.
Hey, thank you.
Great lesson, great teaching, great podcast, great discussion. Something I know I'm going to refer to often, walk in this thing. And again, I want to say thank you to everyone listening and watching. We love being able to share our leadership thoughts with you guys. And we hope, we pray that it does add value to your life. If it is, let us know. If there's a question that maybe you have for a future episode, we'd love to answer it.
That'd be fun.
Maybe even do an episode of all questions.
Yeah, because we want the podcast to add value.
100%.
We're not looking for other things to do.
No.
We're just up here talking. No, we want to add value for sure.
In every way that we can. Thank you, guys. Love our listeners, and we look forward to next month. We'll bring you another episode of the FFLP. Still trying to keep it going.
Yep, let's go.
See you guys.